myself. That was the wrong button. Okay, so can I, oh well, I'm just gonna leave it. All right, you guys are muted. Hello everyone, Tonya Sample with New American Funding. We're gonna go ahead and get started here. Today, I just wanted to share a couple things about touching briefly on being furloughed and forbearance, and then also talking primarily about bridge loans. But you are, and I've already seen that you've had some other training things come up about that, furlough and forbearance. It's super, super important to engage the lender side whenever you identify that someone is furloughed or they have been in forbearance on their loan, because there are things that we can do for financing, but it can also be a detriment to your process if you're helping someone in selling their home and buying a new one, or a first-time home buyer that has experienced one of these two things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just share my screen. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so Mary, can you let me know if you can see my screen share? Is she waving? I don't see you, Mary. Unmute you. I hope you guys can see it. Okay. Nobody's chiming in.
I can see it.
You can see it? Okay, good. All right. See, actually, what I should have done here is I should, oopsies. I need to play it, huh? Started from the beginning. Okay. So I'm just going to go through this as some touch points. And then again, if you guys have questions, just reach back, let me know. But impacts of COVID, as far as being furloughed, qualifying whenever the bar was furloughed, we've been seeing a majority of people are back to work now, not everyone. Some aren't going back to where they were, so they're on the job search. If they are currently furloughed, they are not going to be able to be eligible for a mortgage. Once they are back to work, they're eligible, and there's going to be different impacts for different types of employment. Forbearance is whenever they are currently have a mortgage, and they put themselves into forbearance whether they were paying the mortgage or were not. And so we're going to talk about a couple of those things. For employment, if the person is full-time, we just need them back to their full-time position. In most cases, we may need to have at least the first pay stub prior to clearing them to close. For part-time employment, same thing, need them back in their position, and then we're going to do a year-to-date average. So if you think about those people in the service industry that weren't able to go back until potentially June 1st, right? Those folks lost a couple months of income, so we are going to be doing some year-to-date. So that could affect them there. If they were part-time before and are now full-time, that's a different conversation. Commission folks, similar with part-time, need to be back to their full-time position and looking at that year-to-date average for their income. I had someone that she sells cars, and their numbers were actually up, even though she had some a little bit of being furloughed in there. And so anyway, so it does, I've been seeing some positive and negative impacts for people on the commission side. Self-employment, overall, the guidelines are, for the most part, staying the same. Profit and loss statement is needed from the CPA for a year-to-date. That's pretty normal. And then the other thing that is very different is we do need to get 2 months of their asset statements to show the last 2 months of their asset statements to show that self-employment income has continued. So have one client where he has a shop in Minneapolis, and he did have to close and wasn't able to open again open his services until the 1st, and so he did not have any income coming in, and his SBA loan doesn't count for income. So anyway, so we'll have to wait until this fall whenever he has a couple months statements. Mortgage forbearance. So the government said, hey, you can skip 3 payments. Not all lenders educated the consumer whenever they called in to make that happen. Some of them made it so easy because they didn't have enough people to answer the phones. They made it so easy that when you went online, you could just click a button and it could throw you into this forbearance mode. So that is going to cause some problems for people, whether they wanted it or did not want it. But here's the thing, when you are in forbearance, basically you do not have to make your payments for the next 3 months. The 4th month, those 3 payments and the 4th payment are then due. And so that's where some of the conversation of potential foreclosures and things are in the talk. So, are people going to be able to make it up? Lots of different directions we could go with that conversation, but I want to keep it focused just to this. So let's say that the payments have been made. Even though they're in forbearance, many people continue to make their payments because they were able to. So if they were able to continue to make their payments, then they just need to contact their lender and say, hey, I want to discontinue my forbearance on my loan. So if you have someone that was planning on selling, COVID happened and now they're going to sell hopefully here in, let's say, August or September, it's just very simple. They just need to have that forbearance discontinued. The lender, then we order the credit supplement and have it updated to the report and move along just as normal business. If payments have not been made, if they were in forbearance and the payments had not been made, then the payments have got to get current. They need to get those payments current, and then same thing, contact a lender, have the forbearance removed, new lender orders credit supplement, gets that report updated, and we move on as normal business. I have had many people say, well, is it going to affect my credit by going into forbearance? Or yes, it did affect my credit by going into forbearance. Under the CARES Act, there should be no negative impact to a borrower's credit score for payments missed during an approved, and that is a key word right there, approved forbearance period. The consumer should not stop making payments if they have a written forbearance. It should not stop making their payments unless they have that forbearance agreement in place. If they do not have the forbearance agreement in place, it is going to negatively impact the credit. So that's not good. So hopefully, and that's something moving forward, we're going to be getting a lot of questions on that kind of stuff. So if you guys have questions, hopefully how to get me. If not, Google Tonya sample and you will find me. Make sure it's the right Tonya sample. And anyway, but we can certainly help answer any of those questions and give some guidance to clients so that they are ready to sell their home and get into that next one, or buyers that are experiencing that foreloadment. So being foreload. Okay, this hot topic, and oh my gosh, we could talk a lot about this. Contingent or non-contingent? That is the question. So can we go non-contingent on an offer? Well, maybe, maybe not. By default, we throw out bridge loan. Some people know what a bridge loan is. Some people have had experience with it. Some people don't know anything about it, but have heard the words bridge loan and talk about it. And so bridge loans are awesome. They are not for everyone, as many other loans. Some things work better for people than other programs. So anyway, so that's why I wanted to talk about the bridge loan and also the mortgage recast and some of the differences. And again, very high level overview, just some tidbits of information to get you just in the know of what's going on here, and we can follow up with more information. But why do a mortgage recast? What it does is it allows the buyer to come in with a minimum down payment. They can eventually remove mortgage insurance. They have the ability to take their proceeds and apply them to the loan at a later date. The closing costs between a recast and then doing a bridge, the closing costs are actually quite a bit less. They can secure the low interest rate, and payments are recalculated on the amortization schedule. So an example here is that I go and I qualify for both mortgages, which if I have a mortgage today and I'm doing a bridge loan, I have to qualify for those. And if I don't have enough cash from my bridge, then I need a third loan over here as well to buy that new property. So the point with this is that we have the minimum down. Maybe it's coming from 401k or something like that. But anyway, we have the bare minimum down. Maybe we're just going to do 3% down on a conventional. We're securing that over, let's say it's a 30-year fixed rate. So we're down in the low 3s or below 3% right now. It's crazy. And so anyway, so we're able to secure that low rate on that first mortgage. When we close on our current primary house, we take those net proceeds, maybe we use all or only some of them, we take those net proceeds and we pay it towards our new 30-year fixed loan on our new house. It's a recast. You can do it 2 times during the loan with New American Funding. we do service our own loans. And so what we do is we apply that lump sum money, has to be over 5,000. I actually think I have it on this slideshow here, but it has to be over 5,000 as far as putting that money down. There is a one-time fee of $300, a processing fee. And so what they are doing is then they're putting that money down. If it's enough to get rid of the mortgage insurance, well, then we wipe it away. We don't have any 2-year window of holding on to that mortgage insurance. So that goes away right away too. So, and they've secured that first mortgage. It actually works quite well. So when does a mortgage recast make sense? So they're ready to buy, but not ready to sell. They need more time to move. They need more time to prepare the home for sale. They need to get children into the school district. They need to get moving pretty quick. Buying power. They don't want to be contingent on the sale of the home, which none of us want our buyers to be contingent on the sale of their home, right? That can just weaken the offer right now with inventory where it's at. So not all lenders service their loans. So that is something that many lenders may not even offer the recast. If you think about it, the lender's making less money if they allow this recast. So many don't allow or have it, or maybe they'll allow you to do it just one time. So we do service our own loans, and we give that benefit to our consumers. And then a bridge loan. So it allows the borrower to buy a new house before selling their current, right? It does have a higher interest rate. It's a shorter term, and it does have closing costs. So if I own my home and I have enough equity to get a bridge loan out, I have to pay the closing costs on that bridge loan. And if I'm still doing an end loan on my new purchase, well, now I'm paying closing costs on that as well. And so you can see how the costs add up. So sometimes it's a great fit if let's say I'm free and clear on my current primary, I'm getting enough of a bridge loan to put into my new home and just pay cash for it, essentially, is what it looks like. That's a great opportunity for the bridge loan. Most people still have loans on their current primary, and they may not get enough equity to pay cash for the new house, essentially. Or if they only get enough equity for the down payment, and maybe that's what they have to do, but they're paying closing costs, double the closing costs again. So something to think about. Anyway, it does work great in a fast moving market where we are at right now. Again, it's a great option if the home is free and clear of a mortgage. And again, the main benefit being it covers the entire purchase price of the new home. So the bridge loan, doing a recast instead of a bridge, equity. If you do not have enough equity in the home to cover the entire purchase price of the home, the equity, that could be the best, could be a recast. Needing to obtain a bridge on a current as well as an end loan on a home, it's multiple loans. That's more closing costs. It costs the end user, the consumer, more money to do that in some cases. And again, it depends on their scenario. So that's pretty much it as far as what we wanted to talk about today. And, you know, again, if you guys have questions, I just encourage you to reach out, talk to me. Sometimes it's just brainstorming on what could work best for the person's individual scenario. And so again, you know, thank you for watching. Thank you for having us do this training. And if you have questions, please reach out. My cell phone, my email is on the roster, but otherwise 763-213-2195. And you all have an awesome day. Bye.